All right. Welcome back to the Starfighter podcast. It is Dom and Jake. We are here once again and finally to be talking about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, episodes 1 and 2. This is going to be our review. And we thank you so much for tuning in. Whether it's here live with us on YouTube or Facebook, or if you're watching on the replay, and some of you might be listening on the podcast feed on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We thank you guys too. Continue to like, subscribe, follow, give us those 5 stars. We appreciate it. Um, yeah, but Jake, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's a nice cloudy day here, kind of like normal Seattle weather for you.
Yeah.
So it's a chill day, and I'm enjoying it. This show is pretty darn.
Oh, I think we're losing Jake.
Oh no. Okay, I think I'm back. I hope I'm back.
Okay, we lost you for a
But
second.
but yeah, no, I'm excited to be here, man. I'm excited to talk about the show. So finally, we're here. We're
I
here.
know, me
Okay,
too. I
the day
for,
arrived.
for me, this has been my most anticipated Star Wars series. I think a lot of people have felt that way, and it's just great to have Ewan McGregor back. Great to have Dave Filoni doing stuff again, and I've heard nothing but great things about Deborah Chow, the director. She also did some of the best work on some of the Mandalorian episodes too. So I'm super excited. Before we get into things, guys, if you're not too familiar with our channel, we talk a lot about Star Wars, as you can imagine, as well as Marvel and really a lot of different nerdy pop culture type of things. So definitely check out our channel and other episodes too that you may have missed. But yeah, we can kind of get into it. And again, if you're watching live, fire in your messages, thoughts, questions, theories in the live chat. And also on the replay, you can leave us your messages and we'll get back to you as well. But why don't we start out with episode 1, Jake? Tell me your initial thoughts, you know, as you started to watch the show.
First of all, that recap, speechless. I probably cried 3 times during it because I had to go through Qui-Gon's death, right? I had to see that whole thing again, and then the
Right.
pain in Obi-Wan's eyes when he's like sees that and screams. I was just like, ah, no, I have to live through this again. And then they show me everything else that has to happen, like, oh, so just it was a banger off the start. I was like, okay, here we go. Like, this is getting me ready, and I'm jazzed. First scene, they take us straight back into Order 66, and that was like a cool. I like how they keep showing us different perspectives of what's happening during that time, because in the movie it kind of just goes like that. He just shows up in that room with the kids, and that's all we see. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. I heard this is the first time we actually got to see like live action clone troopers, because in the old one they were all CGI'd, and so this one has people in actual suits in it, and that was pretty dang cool to see. Not gonna lie, but yeah. So it opens up in that whole situation. I was floored. I was like, okay. I mean, we didn't even get to start the episode yet, but I'll ask you, how did you feel, man? I was
Yeah, I
loving
think
it.
that was an amazing recap. I think they did really well on that. And again, I think it's one of those things where you're, giving service to the longtime Star Wars fans, but also if there's people that are more new to Star Wars and want to jump into these shows but don't have all the context, then it sets them up for success too, because they get to know more of the backstory that maybe they missed. They haven't seen episodes 1, 2, and 3 yet. Um, so it was really good. But yeah, definitely had packed that emotional punch, um, and just really kind of summarized the journey that we've gotten to see with Anakin and Obi-Wan. So I really liked it. And then, like you mentioned, when it goes right into the action with Order 66, and I think a lot of Star Wars fans just love seeing more of Order 66 because it was just I don't know, it was one of those darker but really exciting events because it was kind of like the game changer. Everything kind of That's when everything kind of flipped
Mm-hmm.
for the Republic and the galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'll get this message from my brother Adrian. How's it
Yeah,
going?
please.
He says that recap is now the only way I'll be watching the prequels. Haha, that's funny.
I don't know if that's a diss on the prequels, if he doesn't like them, or it was just a nod to how great that opening was, quite frankly.
I think it's more so the latter, but yeah, he may not like the prequels as much. Personally, I've come to enjoy them a lot more. Especially 3. I've always felt like 3 was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And episode 2 is kind of like my least favorite, but I also really like a lot of things about Phantom Menace. But yeah, let's kind of get into it and talk more about seeing Obi-Wan for the first time and your thoughts on the Inquisitors. You want to take me through some of that?
Yeah, I mean, that was really interesting. I feel like, first of all, that scene in the beginning when it shows the kids, that is supposed to be Reva as a child. And she says, run. She's the one that's like, we need to get out of here.
Do you think that's confirmed? Because that's kind of my theory too, is that that is Reva. But I don't know if we know like 100% sure.
So we can get into it when we start breaking down later in the episode why there's hints at why it is her. But I will also say that I listened to the leaks of what was going to happen in the show. Everything that they said was going to happen in the first 2 episodes happened. And in those leaks, it explains that Reva was a child in the beginning at the temple. And we were all wondering if we were going to see that or not. But so that's why I think it was. And then there's other hints that the Inquisitors say to her, like put her down.
Right.
Yeah, we'll get to that in then episode 2. But yeah, so I think it's Reva. Yeah. I think it has to be. I don't know if they would really show that scene. Like they could have just shown that scene in the in that recap if they really wanted to, where Anakin walks in there. But so I think it has a purpose, and yeah, I think you have the right hunch, Dom. So good on you for catching that. A lot of people didn't catch that, actually. So yeah, but
yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. But I mean, what do you think about her and the Inquisitors?
Yeah, I mean, they just roll up. First scene out the gate, Inquisitors flying over, and they land on Tatooine, and they get out, and they just have this presence about them walking through the streets, and everyone's like, oh, geez, like, first of all, what the heck is going on Tatooine? It's like the outer planet that is just getting messed up all the time. There's so much stuff happening there all the time. Like, can't they just get a break? But besides that, these guys just show up because they find out that there is a Jedi that was helping this bar tender guy that owns a bar or cantina. And they kind of interrogate him. And I loved the monologue. We kind of heard it in, I think, one of the trailers, like a little bit of this. But this Grand Inquisitor, yeah, I loved him, dude. He waltzed up there like a BA, like just laying it down. And he's very tactical, clearly. He's not, and they established that in the scene. And Reva is very off the charts. She's something else. I'll just say that she doesn't play by the rules. Okay,
right.
But I loved it. I don't know how you felt. I know like there's a bunch of little signs too. If you go back and rewatch that scene, to why he already knows that guy's the Jedi. He walks over to the wall with all these marks in the wall from a lightsaber. So this guy used his lightsaber like a buffoon. Okay, you don't do that during this time, or else you're gonna get killed, homeboy. And then also the bartender guy had a wrap around his hand. That's what the wrap was, because his hand was injured from these thieves or whatever the brawl was that happened. So they already knew it was going down. But I don't know. How'd you feel about it? It was crazy. It was very what's that movie? Inglourious Bastards. When that guy goes in to interrogate that farmer and they're hiding underneath, and he like kind of knows already. Anyways, it was very menacing. I loved it. Gotcha.
Yeah. I enjoyed it too. It kind of reminded me a little bit of when Kylo Ren lands. Um, he lands down on the planet in Episode 7, kind of like that intro and just like that ominous presence from the Inquisitors as they like walk down the ramp. Um, but yeah, I didn't really care too much for the acting with that Jedi a whole lot. But overall, the kind of that scene I enjoyed, and yeah, there's definitely you know like a twist in their dynamics, and like Riva does kind of seem like the odd person out of the group. Like she's she's not on the same wavelength as the other two or three Inquisitors.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll just get this out of the way. Did you enjoy her character, or was it a little?
I did for the most part. For the most part, I did really like her, and I'm excited to see what they do going forward. And I really want her to like just like have a strong story arc. The real problem that I had is just like, and it's not even like super bad or anything. It's just, I don't know, I guess a little bit nitpicky, but what bothered me is sometimes the dialogue in her conversations, um, how defensive she was, and it was always kind of the same thing she would do every time if you watch over again. Um, the Inquisitor, Grand Inquisitor, would say something, and she'd be like, "Well, maybe you're not this or that." You know what I mean? And then they later on they'd say something again, like, "Maybe you're not looking in the wrong places." If later on they say something again, "Maybe you're not going far enough." You know what I mean? It was just kind of
Yeah.
she was just repeating that over and over. She
Yeah.
did it like 3 times, and I was like, can't she just have like a different go-to? You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
her dialogue, I think, just needed to change a little bit and like be a little more versatile, because it seemed like she was kind of saying the same ideas over and over when she would get defensive. You know what I mean?
Hey, it was. Thank you for stopping by, Ryan. I really appreciate it, brother. Um. Yeah, I felt like she was a little bit over the top. I I didn't really believe her when she would get mad. Like it almost was like like she was trying too hard or something. I didn't find her like I kind of laughed at her when she'd get angry. I wasn't like, oh no, like goodness
Mhm.
gracious. I was just like, okay, like this is a little ridiculous right now. Um, and yeah, dude, she just has one mode, like you say. She's just an angry person all the time. Like
Yeah,
that's just it.
very defensive, kind of
Yeah.
on the edge all the time.
Uh-huh. And so I was just like, okay, like I can put up with this. I will tell you that maybe you will like her because from the leaks that I read, I know everyone else is really upset with how the show is going to end, that knows what's going to happen. But um yeah, I mean, it was just
I mean,
yeah, maybe it was her writing.
I honestly don't believe that all the leaks are true. I'm sure some of them are, but
It was pretty spot
we'll
on the
see.
nose, my guy. I was like, oh gosh, like
That's fine.
once it was
That's
unfolding in
fine.
front of my eyes, I was like, oh no, like goodness gracious, I hope that all the leaks are wrong. Like
Yeah.
I hope this is the only thing that's right that's going on right now. Um, but I can, because even how the leaks, like what I read, it doesn't. There has to be
And we're
so
not
many
giving
steps.
spoilers. We're not giving any spoilers
Yeah,
for like
I'm
or
not giving
even
you anything.
potential. So just to kind of ease our audience's mind, they don't have to worry for the next
Well, yeah,
episodes.
yeah, I won't ruin the next episodes, but we're definitely going to talk a lot about these episodes. But anyways, I just don't see how she's going to like progress that quickly into whatever is going to happen at the end if it's how they wrote it. It just won't make sense. So I'm not too worried about it. But yeah. So anyways,
Gotcha.
her character was fine. Yeah, that whole opening scene was interesting. And yes, there's a lot of conflict between the Inquisitors and her. Clearly, she went to go
Yeah.
slice a guy in half, and he was like, "Whoa, hold on a second." Like she just wants to kill Jedi. She doesn't even care about the scraps, as she says. And
Hmm.
it was kind of weird for me that this whole major fascination that she has with Obi-Wan. I mean, I'm hoping it's just because she wants to be in the good graces of Darth Vader. Um, but it seems just like extreme. Like I said, that's it. A little over the top, a little too much.
And I do want to talk a little bit more about that too, kind of like speculation. I definitely want to hear, the fans, the audience's theories. If you guys want to chime in at any point, what you think that kind of means, because she talked about, kind of like why is it so important for her to catch Obi-Wan, like, and she said something to the effect of, she wants to get what she's owed. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. I want to get Ryan's comment, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. Ryan says, love the episodes. Also, shout out to Ryan and Whitney. They came over last night. We kind of had a little Star Wars party and we watched it together. It was really tough for me not to watch this Thursday at midnight, because anyone that knows me, especially Jake, who knows me, like, as soon as I'm refreshing Disney Plus, like I'm there at midnight watching these episodes. But I did not. I had a lot of self-control and I didn't watch it till.
Let me ask you:
friends.
Was there one time during that night or the next day before the party where you opened the app and like looked at it and you're like about to play it and you're like shaking? You're like, no, I can't.
No, there was a point where I was like gonna open the app just to see like if it showed the titles or anything, but then I was like, no, I'm not even gonna do that.
You wanted to watch it so bad. I'm happy for you to do that, man. Congratulations. Okay, that was tough.
Thanks. Yeah. It was. All right, but Ryan says, love the episodes. The intro was amazing. Episode 1 was 7 out of 10 and enjoyed it. Episode 2 was 9 out of 10 and really liked everything. Can't wait to see where they take the show. Sorry, can't stay for live, or maybe he means for long, gotta go, but we appreciate that. And it was a lot of fun hanging out with all of them last night and watching that for the first time together. It was a great time.
Okay. Do you want to hit this question real quick from your brother?
Yes. Adrian says, will you be annoyed if Reva turns, and over or under 75% they will turn her? I don't know if I'll be annoyed, but honestly, I think it just comes down to how they execute it. I kind of already know, how Jake feels about it. But
I'm not gonna.
I think with anything you can make certain things work. It's all about how you do it. That's how I feel. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, exactly. I think you hit it on the head, because didn't this kind of happen in that video game? I never played it. The one with Cal. What's that game? Oh gosh.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, that has the other sister in it, right? And at the end, she turns and kind of like she gets messed up by Vader, right? She gets killed. So I think they could do it in a good way. If they do it the way that I heard they're going to do it, I'm gonna be like, okay, that's a little ridiculous. But if they can do it where she's kind of like something happens and Obi-Wan kind of helps her, or she sees Obi-Wan maybe even talking to Qui-Gon Jinn, a Force ghost, or something happens and he shows up and she's like, oh my gosh, like I really messed up, like maybe I should help you try to fight Vader, and then they go and fight Vader and all of a sudden she gets killed doing that. I would be totally fine with that, 100%. But yeah, it just kind of depends like how they do it. I don't know. I'm gonna be annoyed if it ends the way that I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, so going back to that, what do you think she meant as far as like getting what she owed? And after this, we'll jump into talking about Obi-Wan more.
Okay, so that kind of happens. That happens after a really big scene that I actually really enjoyed. That I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed what she did in the scene. We'll get to it in a little bit, but
you want to circle back to it then?
We could circle back to it. Yeah.
Okay.
We could circle back to that. Yeah.
Let's talk about seeing Obi-Wan for the first time, and kind of getting to see where he's at right now, in the timeline, in his story. How do you feel about it?
dude, I feel good about it. I feel like he's struggling. I don't know what else he
Yeah,
would be doing. It really showed me like how monotonous, like just stupid his every day is. Like, oh no, are you losing me?
I don't think so.
Okay. It was boring, and that was great, and that was the point of it. And I
Right.
enjoyed like him kind of hanging out, like wanting to see uh Luke from afar and check on him, and
Yeah,
uh oh gosh, dude, the internet, I don't know what's happening. Um but
you're
yeah, I
good.
thought it was great. I thought it was great. How about you?
Yeah,
What'd you think about it?
I really liked it. I think it made a lot of sense. Like you said, I like that he's, checking up on Luke. That's his main priority, even though he's really trying to stay, um, like lay low. And also, he talks about how he's just not the same person, and we'll get into that a little more later as well. Um, Actually, we'll probably just start talking about it right now. um, you know, we get to see Bail Organa, and we get to see an introduction with young Leia, which I think was really cool. And I actually really liked how they did all of that. Um, but something I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit, just briefly, because I don't want any backlash, but um, the way that they handled the story and an Obi-Wan story right now, there's a lot of similar beats to Last Jedi with Luke. And the difference again is the way that they did it. Now, you guys already know I like I like Last Jedi a
That's his
decent
favorite
amount.
movie. That's his
No,
favorite
it's
Star
not.
Wars movie, hands
Empire's
down.
my favorite. Empire's my favorite. I like it a decent amount, but I just think that it's interesting, and maybe this has been a lesson learned for them. And I just wanted to touch on this briefly because the way they handled it, the key is that we got all of this context before we we jump to seeing Obi-Wan, you know being kind of depressed and alone, and again having this huge change in his character, as opposed to with Luke. We didn't see a whole lot. We didn't spend that much time with like what caused him to change. um and I think that was a big, you know key aspect of how the way that they handled this was much better. Um, and so I just kind of appreciated that, and that's something that I noticed right away, because there are really similar beats, to him kind of losing his way. But you know, as we know, towards the end of this episode, it seems like he's gonna regain that confidence. He's going to jump back into the role of being a Jedi, um, at least one more time, at least for a little while. But yeah, what do you think about this? And we can start talking a little bit about um, the Leia angle, and also let's start talking about Owen in a minute too. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I think you just hit it on the head. I really don't have much to say after what you said. They oh no, am I dying? Can you hear me?
you're good.
Okay. Um yeah, it's just how they handled it. It was really poor. They gave us no reason. I mean, they tried to explain it later in the movie, and this kind of starts out, we already know he's kind of what he's going through, or what he would be going through if he was a normal person. So, and they do it like immediately, flashbacks. He like keeps seeing
Yeah,
stuff, and it's like it's not.
yeah,
So
the
how they handled
nightmares,
it,
that was great. That was great.
yeah. And I got a theory about that. I think that was him linking up with Anakin. I think that he is like subconsciously accidentally melding his
Oh,
dreams, maybe because he sees Anakin in the pilot, like when he's fighting, right? And Obi-Wan was fighting Maul at that time. He wasn't there for that, so I think it might be some sort of like meshing that's happening, and maybe
that's a great
it's like
theory. Yeah.
it's like torturing him, yeah. And he has to, like,
Hmm.
because for Anakin this would fuel him if he saw this nightmare every night, like, I'm angry, I want to go kill this guy. but for Obi-Wan, it would be like, oh gosh, like I don't like that was not a fun time in my life, you know. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
kind of what's going on, but I feel like that might be something that's going on because at the end we'll get to it, but at the end of episode 2, he just says Anakin, and those
Yeah.
beautiful eyes just open up, and like, okay, there we go. So I don't know, but yeah, I think they're handling it way better.
Me too. Let's talk a little bit about the scene with Owen and Reva, and we've already seen, you know, kind of how the relationship is with Owen and Obi-Wan, even from the trailer, and of course we get more from episode 1. But you know, Owen wants nothing to do with Obi-Wan, and he wants Obi-Wan to have nothing to do with Luke. And here Owen doesn't like give away, you know, his secret that he knows Obi-Wan, that he's hiding around here, but Reva's like really interrogating him. What do you think about this scene?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, the scene starts off because, you know, Obi-Wan goes and drops off that toy for Luke, which he eventually
I know,
gets.
I
Everybody,
love that scene, dude. As
don't
soon as I
worry.
saw it, I was like, that's the T-16 Skyhopper that he's playing with in episode 4.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
It was a good callback, I thought. So, anyways, he's gonna get it. All right, we all know it. At some point, Obi-Wan's gonna give him back this toy. He's like Santa Claus. Okay, that's Obi-Wan in the show. But I thought it was great. I mean, I thought it was a sick burn. You know, like he's asks about Luke, like, why are you here? Is he showing? Like, he asks if he's okay, and Owen's just like, bro, I know you just care if he's like using the Force, or we know that he's using the Force. And then he burns him because I guess it sounded like they kind of talked about it when he dropped off Luke and was like, hey, you know, I'm probably gonna try training him. It sounded like they kind of had that agreement, but yeah, Owen wants nothing to do with him. And I was surprised. I thought it was a really cool scene. Like, this was one of the scenes where I was like, oh dear Lord, she is not messing around. She goes up and cuts off a lady's hand because she tells Reva that she doesn't have jurisdiction here. And Reva just walks up and slices her hand right off. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
And this, I think, was her best scene, in my opinion. Like, because like you had mentioned before, she can be a little over the top sometimes. But I felt like this scene was pretty well done. Like, I thought her acting was pretty good, and the actor that plays Owen, I'm forgetting his name right now, but he's really good.
Yeah.
He's great.
He was good. And it seems as if clearly, I mean, Reva is pretty in tune with the Force, we can tell. And
Yeah.
it seems like she can feel like another Jedi around, and she can sense if like someone's lying or not. We see her do that in episode 2, and we see her do like the whole mind thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think
The
she
Kylo Ren.
knows. Yeah, and by the way, another thing, I think she knows all about Owen. Like, I honestly do. She even says Owen, like, "Oh, you're the farmer." Like, she knows who this guy is. Like, she's already been looking into him. So I think she had like a pretty well off indication that there's something going on. Like,
Yeah.
if she can link Obi-Wan's friendship with Bail, then I think that she could figure out that Anakin's mom used to like live on this planet, and like that's his, what, I forget, what, his brother, right? Isn't Owen like really Anakin's brother, like his half brother?
It's his no, it's his stepbrother, I think.
Is it? Okay. So anyways, I mean, she could probably figure out that connection. So I'm it was very interesting, but I don't know, man. Yeah, probably her best scene. A little bit over the top when she started yelling. I was like, okay, but yeah, besides that, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And then why don't we get into talking a little bit about? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is what you wanted to talk about when you asked me, because she gets pulled aside right after the scene. Like, she's about to kill Owen, and the guy, not Obi-Wan, but the other Inquisitor, saves Owen's life. Okay, and saves Obi-Wan's life. Okay, so there's already a little bit of me that I was just like, okay, this is getting kind of crazy. I don't like it too much. They're stepping in. I don't know. The Inquisitors, dude, were so crazy. They were ruthless. Go watch Rebels, okay? Like, they do not mess
Yeah.
around. But so like that's a little bit of it. I don't like that whole part of it really. But so he pulls her out to the side because he's like wants to talk to her, and that's when she talks. He says, "We've been hunting Obi-Wan for 10 years and we haven't found him. Like, we're not going to find him." And she's like, "Oh no, I'm going to." And I think that's the
Maybe
scene where
you haven't
she's
been
like,
looking in the right places.
she says her line. She says her maybe
Yeah.
line. And then she says, I think that she wants what she's owed. And so that to me is indicating another hint that she was a Jedi, and they don't treat her the same because she was a Padawan that ran away. Or maybe I would love to see this, because this would be the best scene if they could show us Christian Hayden back in there, and he slaughters all those kids around her and
You mean Hayden
spares her
Christensen?
life. And what did I say, Christian Hayden or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, that guy. I do that every time, dude. But he goes in, and I would love to see him slaughter like all of her friends, and then like pick her out and be like, "You're gonna like come with me, and you're gonna get trained in the dark ways or whatever," right? And so that would set her up to be like afraid, but also like looking for like recognition from him, because she knows how powerful he is, and she knows like how ruthless he is, and seeing that probably is what kind of like triggers her into like being such a, I don't know, I think that would be a cool way if they did that. But
Yeah. I kind of have two theories on this. One, similar to that, they could be doing kind of like Force Unleashed, which I've talked a little bit about on the show before, but in that video game, Darth Vader has a secret apprentice, and so maybe they're leaning in to a little bit of like that story angle with Riva as like a potential apprentice, and she kind of needs to earn her way, kind of like Asajj Ventress with Dooku, and like maybe she's not quite a Sith, but she kind of aspires to be. You know what I mean? And she's like Dooku's apprentice, and you know what I'm trying to say is like,
yeah,
maybe it's kind of like Reva's trying to like work her way up the food chain, basically, and like you mentioned, to like be in the good graces with Vader, so that she can like fully become his apprentice. And of course, like the Sith, just want more and more power. That's like one theory that I have, and the other theory is that what if Riva as a child, like let's say it was her in the temple, and what if she knew about Obi-Wan, because he has a a widely known reputation. He was like he was a Jedi Master on the Council. He was one of the most powerful Jedi Knights in the Order. So my theory is, what if she knew a lot about him when she was younger, maybe kind of looked up to him, and what if she was expecting him to come and save them, because around that time,
you're trying to talk about
Yoda and Obi-Wan, they put out a message. Oh, actually, never mind. That they were telling people not to go back to the temple, but who knows? Maybe somehow she knew that Obi-Wan and Yoda were like basically the only two Jedi that were, around trying to like fight off the clones, and she was expecting Obi-Wan to come back and save the other younglings, something like that, and she's bitter about that. I think it could kind of be an interesting angle. But I think I'd probably prefer the apprentice type of thing. What do you think?
Yeah, there is one thing I think that after you said that actually kind of made sense, because in that same scene that we were just talking about, her whole spiel in that scene is like, why do you even care about the Jedi? Like, they abandoned all of you. Like, they didn't come save you. They all ran away. They're all in hiding. Like, they're not doing anything for you guys. And that was her whole thing. And I think the people of the town actually killed the other Jedi, like poisoned him or something, because they didn't want the Inquisitors there anymore. They were sick of whatever was happening. The guy was strung up so they could see, the Inquisitors could see, and I'm pretty sure that the Inquisitors weren't even on the planet when that Jedi died. So I think that there actually is a lot of divide between people, like a lot of divide that we haven't really seen yet, where they don't even like, a lot of people don't even like Jedi because they're not around anymore. So honestly, you could be right, and maybe that's her whole gripe with Obi-Wan, is the fact that she was like, dude, these people were supposed to save us and protect us, and they all died and ran away, like they were cowards in her mind. That's what she kind of thinks. So
Yeah,
it's
that's a better
possible.
way of looking at it. Yeah. Kind of just like it was their responsibility, like the Jedi Masters, it was their responsibility to come back and save them, that sort of thing.
Hmm. So
I think that'd be
maybe
really
you're right.
cool. I think that'd be really cool. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think you're yeah, you're onto something.
And we'll kind of like start to segue into episode 2 here. But
We
what do you
gotta talk
think
about, yeah.
about kind of the introduction into young Leia and this angle? Kind of right off the bat, I I basically guessed, oh, this is going to be the connection and how Obi-Wan gets off world, having to
Hmm.
go and save Leia, and I actually really like it. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense, and also I think it was good writing too. When Bale comes to talk to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's kind of using Luke as his crutch and like his excuse to stay on Tatooine, um, and saying that he's like his main priority, um, and Bale's saying, but like Leia's also your priority too. The two of them, they're essentially the last of the Skywalker bloodline, the last to potentially bring balance to the Force. So Leia's just as much um, has just as much importance as Luke does. Like, and I thought that was really cool and kind of helped to start motivate him, um, have motivation to go and get off planet and go and save her. But what do you think?
Yeah. So everyone says that I got a couple things I want to say. I want to say them
Yeah,
quickly so you can get to episode 2, but I'll just blow through it. First of all, I'm tired of people saying that Obi-Wan is uh okay, a lot of people are arguing that there's like a thing with boys. I want to use the S word, but I'm not going to. It's like the males are more important, right? And so that everyone's like complaining, like, oh, that's been my gripe for years. Like, why doesn't he go? Like, why does he not care about Leia? What's going on? And everyone's all getting upset about it now. And my first thought in my head is, because she lives with like the king of an entire planet who has an army, he doesn't need to watch over her. Like, she's safe. That was the whole point. Little Luke is living in the desert with his uncle and aunt, and he has no protection. So I got to get that off my chest. It's been really bothering me. People, listen, okay? She has a whole army to defend her and a planet, and Luke just has Obi-Wan. All right, so get that out of
yeah,
the way. I do love how he kind of gets enticed to go, like that whole setup of him being able to leave, like that. I loved that. That was awesome. Great setup. The other thing I got to talk about is this little girl's acting. I get it. She's very young. First of all, this little girl is not 10. She does not look 10. Okay. And she runs like a toddler. I could not handle her running. Someone's got to train her to run a little bit better, because the waddle run
dude.
that she does,
I hope you don't
I
have
could not handle.
too many negative things because I thought this little girl's acting was really good.
No, it was good. Like, dude, she did good for her age. Like, she's only gonna get better. But yeah, there was some. It's just a child actor, you know. Sometimes there's just some of the
I thought
stuff. I
she
was just
was
like, okay.
I thought she was really good though.
Hey, listen, I don't have a gripe with her. I like her. All right, she's a
No, I
child.
thought the
She's probably
dynamics
like
worked
8.
really well. She had
Yeah.
great lines and like I mean, as we'll talk about, like the dynamics between her and Obi-Wan, I thought were really good. Some of her little like jokes too.
Yeah.
like one-liners back at him, like for being old, like the whole grandpa thing. I felt like it was like, um, it felt like Star Wars humor, and it felt like Leia because she has a little bit of like a sassy attitude about her. You know what I mean?
hmm
Uh,
No, yeah, I think
yeah.
she's like a great yellow little Leia, dude. She is like they made her perfect, like with the sass, like what you're saying. But when she says some things, you could just tell that it was written down, and she was giving a line, and that's it. That's it. She's like 7 or 8, I'm assuming, in real life. Maybe she's 9. But dude, those chase scenes were just awful. A guy ran into a branch that he didn't see that was chest high. It was like, oh, like I can't get her now. She ran under. So there's like some of this stuff was a little ridiculous. But I'm here for it. Okay, I'm here for it. I already told you guys I loved the show. All right. It was just some of it. I just was rolling my eyes. Like, there's no way this little girl's running away from 3 guys right now. That's just not happening.
Yeah.
And then in episode 2, when she's running away, she literally runs right past Obi-Wan, and he could have just grabbed her. And he's like, "Oh, wait, no!" And then she like runs off, and you're like, "Okay, like, what's happening here?" Like she's running 2 miles an hour. You guys can get her. It's not, So that was my only gripe with it. But yeah, someone needs to work on those chase scenes. But I thought she was great. I
Yeah.
thought she was great, and I
Yeah.
thought that her dad was great too. I loved that whole scene. Um, yeah, he was really good to see back. And dude, she is just smart witted and gets out of
Mhm.
situations. And dude, definitely Leia. I mean, you could see it. It's Leia.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more, now about episode 2. The other quick things I wanted to mention about episode 1, things that I really liked in episode 1 that I haven't mentioned yet is, I guess, a love-hate type of thing because they teased, Qui-Gon coming back. We already know he's been talking with him, um, and it looked like they're about to show him, and they haven't yet, and I really want to see him again.
Oh, so
Because I love Qui-Gon.
your assumption is that Obi-Wan has already talked to Qui-Gon?
It is.
Okay. Okay.
But now you're making me question it. But now you're making me question it because also it seemed like he was disconnected from the Force in episode 2 because when he goes to grab Leia with the Force, he was really struggling and it was as if he hadn't used the Force in a long time.
In about
Um,
10 years, yeah. Looks
so
like it.
I don't know, but it could be
I don't
that
know.
he hasn't talked to Qui-Gon in a couple of years. You know what I mean? But
hmm
I mean, he was acting like he was talking to him at one point. Um,
I could see how you can make
you
that
know,
assumption. Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, he called out to him. Like, I don't know if it was more like a hypothetical type of thing or, um,
No, he
but
does it
like,
twice. He does it
yeah.
once in each episode, right? So,
Or maybe like a part of him is, struggling and he does like want to like reconnect with the Force. And so he's trying to talk to him, but he's just not having a whole lot of success. Um, Because
I don't know.
it also kind of seemed like he was trying, but also not trying like really hard to talk to him. You know what I mean? To connect. So
Yeah. Yeah. He kind of like woke up from
we'll
his
see.
nightmare and was like, Qui-Gon?
Yeah.
And
So
I
we'll
think
see.
they have
Um.
to show him. That's my
Yeah.
assumption. You can't say his name. You can't invoke that name and then not put him
Yeah.
in this series
I
at
love
all.
him. He's one of my favorite characters. I think he's one
You
of the
show him.
coolest characters in Star Wars. Um.
Yeah.
And then I really enjoyed the scene when Obi-Wan goes to pull his lightsabers out of the ground. I thought that was cool. Um.
Dude, people just be
And
burying lightsabers all over
yeah.
Tatooine, bro.
And then the final scene was that, when he goes and he decides that he's going to go out um, and go after Leia and try and save her, and you kind of like see him give like the card or whatever to get access onto the ship, and you see his saber, um, at like on his hanging from his belt. Um, I don't know. I thought that was a cool scene, and it was shot really well as he was like walking away. It kind of felt like he was back. You know what I mean? Um,
But he's
not
not.
not 100% because not 100% because like he was still struggling with the idea. Um, but our hero is back essentially.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, dude. That, and I think the last scene from the first episode is him leaving and like him kind of questioning it, and then I think Reva was talking just right before that to the kidnappers, and like I kind of already said before, but she already knows. Like she connected Obi-Wan to this guy. So I don't, dude. This Reva chick she's stepping out of line. All right, she's jumping ranks here and
Yeah.
taking over. Yeah. But I'm curious. I want to know how they answer that because we'll get to it at the end of this episode. But she just seems to know things. So that's why I'm thinking that it's more like an apprenticeship that she has
Hmm.
with Darth Vader. Like maybe the other Inquisitors don't even really realize that she's like a favorite and that he
Yeah.
wants her to kind of do that kind of stuff. So I don't know. But we'll find out. It seems like she knows a lot of stuff. I'm curious to know
Right.
how she knows all this stuff. But yeah, cool scenes.
Yeah. So I mean, take me through some other stuff in episode 2 that you really enjoyed.
So first things first, episode 2 does start out with him just showing up and walking around. A couple shout outs, I gotta say. First of all, we get our boy that looks like Rex in his 501st clone outfit sitting there.
Yeah.
It's definitely not Rex, but I like how they're showing us.
You don't think it is?
I don't think so. I mean,
I've heard some people think it is. Some people think it's just another clone.
yeah, I think they also deep faked his like face into this guy, I guess, because he wasn't actually in the credits. It was only his voice. So
Oh.
they did something weird there, I think. But that was cool. I was like, that's cool. But I like how they're showing. Yeah, if you watch if you watch Bad Batch, the whole show is about them basically getting rid of all the clones. They don't want them anymore. So it's cool to see like this guy's an old vet, and they just don't know what to do with themselves. But so that was a little cool shout out. And then the next scene, he walks up, and first of all, this spice it killed me. How much spice this girl gave to Obi-Wan. It looked like an insane amount of spice. She just grabbed it went in her bag and was like, "Here you go." That's actually Ewan McGregor's daughter.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So
Wow, I didn't know that.
that was pretty cool.
It's a great little
so
Easter egg. Yeah.
When now she says I was a daughter too one time, I was like, oh yeah, you were his daughter. That's him right there. What are you talking about, you fool? So yeah, it starts out that, and then we get introduced to this new guy, right? And I want to know what your thoughts are on this new guy. I think his name's Haja, right? Is that his name? I think in the show, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Haja. I'm pretty sure it's Haja, if that's how it's pronounced. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, I thought he was a funny character. I don't know what you thought. I want to hear.
I thought it was something different. I don't remember.
I'm
but it's
oh, my phone. I can't.
But yeah, the guy from Eternals. I
He's
liked
jumping
him.
franchises.
Yeah, I liked him more so towards the end of this episode, kind of when he has, I don't know, I guess you could call it a change of heart, or he finds the motivation to want to help Obi-Wan, and sincerely help him, because before this, when we first meet him, he's just, being an idiot, like pretending he's a Jedi and trying to fool people.
Yeah.
It didn't really seem like Star Wars humor to me in those scenes when you first meet him and when he's trying to trick this family. It was just kind of weird to me. I felt like it was a little bit jarring. Like it was just too out there for me for the Star Wars for Star Wars humor, what we're used to. But I thought it was fine. Like towards the end, I liked that he wanted to actually help him at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because I could totally see that happening in real life if there were Jedi, like a palm reader. Like, give me your money and I'll read your palm. Like, psychics, all that stuff. Like that happens, right? So that's just
It was
basically
an
this.
interesting idea, yeah, because we haven't really seen anything like that before. Of
Yeah,
someone
and I
someone trying to like take advantage of that idea that like is running around in the galaxy. Um, and I think that's something I really enjoyed just about these first two episodes is kind of like seeing like even on Tatooine, which we've been to a bunch of times, but also on other planets, um, just seeing how the galaxy is in like a different place, with like the
Mhm.
information that they have um, about the Jedi, and like with the new rule of the Empire, just how everything is kind of how everything is currently for them. It's kind of cool to see how it is.
Yeah, it's cool to explore for sure. I mean, yeah, I think that actor's a little annoying, so I wasn't in love with that
Yeah.
scene either, Dom. I don't know what it is about that guy, but sometimes I don't know, something about his face, man, just something about his face. No, I don't know. I find him a little slightly annoying. But yes, I did like him by the end. He came back around, and that was cool. It was nice to see. Um, like I said before, like I think there's a lot of divide, and it was nice to see someone that's actually wants to help. Like he could be a future rebel, that maybe we'll see him in another
Right.
show as a rebel, So,
Yeah.
hey, Andor's coming out in August, September. I don't know.
I know. I kind of want to talk about Andor at the very end of our episode today.
Okay, yeah, we could talk about it. I was
Yeah.
so confused during that trailer. I was so confused. But so yeah, so he gets help from this guy, right? And then he goes and does Breaking Bad, Obi-Wan. Breaking Ben is what I like to call it.
Breaking Ben,
Uh,
nice. Breaking Benjamin, right?
yeah,
Anybody?
exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Anyways, great band. Go look them up. But yeah, he makes this little bomb. In this scene, we get to see like another Maul character, same kind of species. He
Yeah.
has to fight. He makes a distraction. He goes and he's trying to find Leia in these back rooms. He has to fight off these two guys, and we get to see how fragile his fragiles are. Uh, his hands like shatter when he punches a guy in the face. And that's because we never actually see him really punch. He always used the Force and had a lightsaber, folks. He didn't ever punch people.
Well, that's not
Um,
100% true. He punches
he punches a
Grievous
lot of
in
people in the Clone Wars show.
and in episode 2, or no, episode 3, sorry, he punches Grievous and like
He's like, ah.
yeah.
Doesn't he like scream afterwards?
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
He either
and then
punches
these
or kicks him, something like that. Whatever.
You're right. I don't know. One of them. But
It was funny, though.
so so he goes and he finds fake Leia because it's not really her. It's a trap. Oh no. And the choreography is a little trash when they do hand-to-hand stuff in the show. I just want to say I didn't bring it up in episode 1, but when the guy pushes Reva against the wall and she like slaps his hand out of the way, I was just like, this is so stupid, and like I can't believe they just.
I thought it was pretty good when Obi-Wan was fighting in
There
that
was
scene.
some
like,
scenes.
Yeah.
Like
There's
there was
room for
parts of it that I
improvement.
was like, okay, yeah, that's it.
But-
I'm used to like
but
John
some-
Wick, right?
But some of them I thought were pretty good.
Yeah.
And I like that, again, it's like our hero's back, but he's not fully back, and he's not quite the same, at least not right now. But like
Yeah.
I think we'll see him more at his full potential as the story progresses, because also like I believe I don't know who said it, but there were like theories going around, or not even theories, but just like speculation that Obi-Wan was going to be like really powerful at some point in this show.
Oh, he has to be.
So I think we're going to see him reach that full potential. But here in these first 2 episodes, here in episode 2, he's definitely been out of the game for a while, and it shows.
Yeah. I mean, geez, they say he's bleeding, and I don't think I ever saw him bleed really. And I'm sure there's maybe some parts where he might have a scratch on his head or something, but yeah, I guess he's bleeding at this point all over this guy's floor, and he doesn't like it.
I
And
like how he
so
drops the spice, though. Sorry.
yeah, I was just about to say, and so he has to drop the spice. And tell me, yeah, what, you love that or what? I thought it was great. I
Yeah, I
just
thought
saw
it was
some
cool.
guys.
It's very Batman, like dropping the bat grenade,
Yeah, I
and
was
he
like,
like
okay,
he
interesting.
knees him or something, and then yeah, he gets out of there.
Yeah, he put his mask on quick. I'm sure he got a little bit of the spice, but not the full effect of it. But yeah, and it's really interesting. He's asking. It doesn't seem like he's too worried about these guys. I mean, all he's doing is asking where Leia is still. And then he finds her, and Reva shows up. And this is the scene that I think really hints at Reva being the Jedi,
Okay.
because they keep putting her down and telling her that she's the lesser of all of them. Like she doesn't
Hmm.
belong there. So I think that really points to her being a youngling at some point, right? Like a Padawan. So, but again, she does have those lines during the sequence that I was just like, oh, okay. I was the one who brought him here. Like, you guys didn't look here, whatever. Maybe you should do that. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, so that I'm trying to get through this because I know you want to end it in an hour,
Oh
and I
no,
also
we
know.
can go a little. We can go a little longer. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Well,
We do have some comments that maybe we could get.
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you
All
can read
right,
those.
that is false, which is Dawson. Also, today is Tuesday, his former name. But he says Obi-Wan and Luke similarly went into exile, but Obi-Wan was done far better. So much happened between the collapse of the Jedi Order and believing that he killed his fallen apprentice. When he went into exile, he had one thing left: protect Luke. Luke went into exile because his very first student had the potential to fall to the dark side, and then he tried to kill him. He's making the comparison between Obi-Wan, like I had earlier, between
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan and Luke, with how they portrayed Luke in Last Jedi. Luke believes he can save Darth Vader, the biggest, baddest, most ruthless in the galaxy, but Ben Solo has some darkness brewing, and instead of trying, he jumps straight to murder. I'm glad the director of Kenobi cares much more about the series than JJ did.
Mm.
Okay, so I think I understand what he's saying now too. Yeah, kind of like what I had said towards the beginning of our show, is that I noticed those comparisons too, and thanks Dawson for sending in your messages and for tuning in. We
Thanks,
appreciate having you.
Dawson.
But yeah, there are those similar beats, and I think it could be I mean, they're still two different characters, so you have to treat them like two different characters, but at the same time, I think it could be also a lesson learned with Last Jedi, just the way that they go about things. But they're also, the other thing too that I mentioned was they were also set up for more success for showing us a different side of Obi-Wan now, because we've had years with him in Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith,
Clone
the clone
Wars, the
the Clone
shows.
Wars, Rebels. We've had so much time with him already, and we understand the progression of his character getting to this
Yeah.
point now. With Last Jedi, we were missing a whole lot of information, and the information that we did get, it was small and it felt a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it could have been a lesson
Yeah.
learned, and I'm glad, and yeah, I'm liking how they're handling his story right now.
Yeah. And just like how they did it with Luke, like about to kill Kylo. Come on now. Like you
Yeah,
can't, my guy. Let's think about this. But yeah. So they definitely handle this a lot better for sure. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, at the end of this, we all know that. I don't. Do you think that Ben is even gonna? He's not gonna meet Luke at all. Like I don't think he can. Right? Like he doesn't train him, obviously. So he doesn't follow that path of Luke where he wants to. He seems like he wants to train him, but clearly something happens where Obi-Wan's like, nah, like I'm gonna let him be, and
Oh,
stays away
right.
from him.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
know?
sure. It's going to be interesting how it ends, and how, of course, we're looking forward to, seeing Vader and Obi-Wan fight, but how things get resolved or don't get resolved with the relationship between Obi-Wan and Uncle Owen.
Yeah, because I
I
mean
think
they don't like each
that's
other.
gonna. Well, I think Obi-Wan, is neutral about it, but Owen doesn't like him.
Well, that's true, bro. Well, yeah, maybe. Okay, I'll give that
um,
to Obi-Wan.
but yeah. So where did we leave off in our breakdown? What are we jumping to
Uh,
next?
we left off when the Inquisitors come. I wonder if do you have anything about that whole scene where they kind of talk trash to Reva at all, and he makes her stand down, or
I don't have many more thoughts on it. Um,
okay.
yeah, I'm
And I
definitely
think this
liking
scene
the
is,
theories that we've
yeah,
been talking about so far.
yeah, definitely. No, we've been hitting all the notes here today, folks. So join in and enjoy the rewatch. But so yeah, I think right after that was that scene that you just showed. They kind of tell her to stand down. She goes off and says, "All right, well then, you know, I don't even care what you say," because that's her whole character is I don't care what you say. I'm angry,
Yeah.
and so she goes and gets all the bounty hunters and all the people in on this planet to go looking for Obi-Wan. She puts out the beacon on him. Listen, everyone's doing this John Wick thing a lot. Marvel did it, and now Star Wars is doing it. I appreciate it, but hopefully it doesn't get overused. Please, Disney, don't do that to us. But so then they're running around and they capture this guy because they want to talk to him, but you just showed, and that
Mhm.
was the other kidnapper that fouled up and lost Leia. And so I'm not gonna get into it, but it was a little funny, that scene. I thought it was a little funny how they ended that. But he gets his head cut off, I'm assuming. I don't know how he was screaming if his head got cut off. But that happens. And then it shows, I think, Reva on a rooftop right after that. And
I just
those
took it as he got like slashed. I don't know.
oh really? Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
He lost something there. But so I found this a little bit annoying. This is pretty much the last time that we see the other Inquisitors. Like, oh, we're gonna go find him, and then it shows him walking through the
Mhm.
streets. The fifth brother, I think is his name, walking through the streets with some troopers, and they don't find him. I guess that's just a testament to how awesome Reva is. But yeah, again, another chase scene ensues with Leia. Because now she's with Obi-Wan, and they have to hide. And this is where I enjoyed some of her quips. He's like, "Hey, listen, put on disguise, And first of all, she doesn't even care. He's like, "You don't need the gloves," and she gets them anyways. And he's like, "Oh, okay, fine, whatever. I'll pay for the gloves."
I
And then
like
she
that
makes.
too.
I thought it was. I was like,
I like it.
okay. I like their dynamic. And then
Yeah.
he says to her, if anybody asks, we're farmers from, I forget the planet, whatever, um, Toel or something like that. And if anybody asks you, you're my daughter. And she's like, yeah, I'm more like your granddaughter. And he's
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, it
And
was
so
good.
I like her little sass, but dude, she's smart, and this shows that she kind of overthinks everything, right? She's young still, and she doesn't really trust Obi-Wan. She sees that he has a lightsaber, but she's like, first of all, little girl, no one's supposed to know he's a Jedi. Stop asking him Jedi questions in the middle of big crowds, in the middle of a crowded city. Okay, don't do that. Um, and I was that was a little bit much for me. I was like, okay, someone has to hear this. First of all, everyone's looking for him at this point. But they end up in an alleyway, right? And he knocks out this one guy and one of these bounty hunters or whatever, and his little gadget turns on, his little puck, and it has Obi-Wan's face, and she sees that and she's like, oh
Yeah.
no, like I knew I couldn't trust you. Like they're only here for you. And I actually thought it was funny that she said that. Like I don't know if she meant to say it that way or if she that actually is 100% true. They really don't even care about Leia. It seems like they don't know who Leia is. They just think that
Mhm.
she's some daughter of like a senator or whatever. And they really are only there for Obi-Wan. They really don't care about Leia. And it even shows us that in the next scene, because when she runs away, again, these chase scenes, Disney picks them. She runs away and escapes everybody, and then runs into these bounty hunters, and they're like, "Oh, it's the girl," and they're like, "Hey, where's Obi-Wan?" They like don't even care about her at all. So that was really telling. But yeah, the rooftop scene. Do you want to talk about the rooftop scene or no? Because that's what it leads right into.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and I was honestly gonna kind of just fast forward to the end of the rooftop scene. But I mean,
Okay.
I think that I guess before we get to the end of it, I think there was a little too much parkour possibly from Riva, but at the same time, like some of the shots look pretty cool, and I just think the planet, like the city, looked really great too.
Mhm.
From the moment that like you first see it and like all the lights had kind of like a Tokyo vibe to it was really cool. Um,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
I,
I
I
do
had a
love that
feeling,
visual.
yeah, I had a feeling that he was going to use the Force because she kept nagging him like to make her float, and
Yeah.
as she kept like running away and like jumping, I was like, oh, he's probably gonna like use the Force to like get her to the next platform or something, like if she starts to fall. Um, but I like what they did here even more. Um, and I don't know, I guess I started to read into it a little bit too as she was like hanging on to the cord, and as she was starting to slip, and like also Ewan McGregor is such a great actor, and I think he's showing a lot of emotion, just like um many times without even saying things, but in that moment it was kind of just like it to me it felt like he was thinking and having like all these different emotions play out because this is Anakin's daughter, that he has to save, but also um, you know it was a powerful scene too because he was probably disconnected from the Force, is what it seems like, and then he finally is able to catch her with the Force at the very end. Um, and I love that scene. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a little anticlimactic for me.
Was it
Would be
okay?
the word. Well, because okay, this is the problem, Disney and everybody else. When you have these characters that we already know are alive, you kind of spoil every intense moment that you have with them. Okay, just a little bit. I already know Leia's
I
not
can
gonna
see
die.
that. No, I can
Yeah.
see that. To me, it was the look in his eyes. It's that we already know what's gonna happen, but he was fearful in that moment. You know what I mean? And not
Hmm.
and not just fearful about, can I actually use my powers, you know, and not just fearful about, will I let her die, but again, I think a lot of these things are just like stemming from that lost relationship with Anakin.
Yeah.
So that's how I think it's still um, it still can be impactful when you watch it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it like it wasn't that it's not that it wasn't impactful for me. I really enjoyed that scene. I was like, oh no, like oh, okay. But like I definitely got taken. I just get taken out of those scenes sometimes, like for a second, where I'm just like, okay, like
Hmm.
hold on a second here. And that's what it's just a little bit of a bummer. But um, yeah, I like that scene. I thought it was like a great way to kind of introduce him back into using his force abilities. Again, he's using it to save someone, right? That's what the Jedi do. They save people. They don't just go murdering people like the Sith. So they use their force for good. And I almost think that that would be really interesting if he got some help. Maybe maybe because he's been so absent. Maybe something happened. Maybe Qui-Gon from the other side was helping him out a little bit. That'd be interesting. But it was good to see him use his abilities. I mean, it
Yeah.
was kind of a bummer this whole time. We still haven't seen him light up his lightsaber yet. That's
I
gonna
know. I
be
really
a
wanted that.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a
I
crazy
really
scene, dude.
wanted it.
I'm telling you, it's happening in episode 4.
Hashtag
Episode 4 is when he.
ignite the blue. Ignite the blue. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm betting
Remember
it's
when that
probably not happening,
hashtag ignite the green was going around for Luke?
dude. Yes, yeah, and it happened. But yeah, so uh, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a fine scene. I definitely was into it, but again, yeah. But so after this whole spiel is, first of all, and I gotta say this, they gotta fix some of these like things. I'm just a little picky. The parkour thing was a little ridiculous. They're running scenes they need to fix with, but Obi-Wan gets down to that street in like 2 hot seconds, my guy. Okay, I don't know if he force ran down those
Yeah,
stairs.
we noticed that too. Yeah,
I was like, holy smokes, dude! You're like, she's still
yeah.
looking up.
He just jumped off.
So but yeah, so he gets down there, and then I think right after that they go and try to get to the transports to get off planet, and they see the guy. They shut everything down, and they see the fifth brother standing there, I think, like holding it down. And this is where our friend Haja comes back. I gotta look this up because I really do feel like that's his name. I really do. um but he comes back and he saves them, right, from the bounty hunter that was on the rooftop, and shoots him.
Yeah.
And gives him safe passage off planet pretty much, and says that there's other people that can help him out there. And I'm wondering if you think, like, do you think that means cameo? Do you think that there's somebody that we may already know that's going to be there waiting for Obi-Wan, that maybe Obi-Wan would be like, okay,
Interesting.
I can trust this person, because they've already had a pass. So maybe it's someone that he doesn't know is still alive or something. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I didn't even like stop to think about it a whole lot the first time watching. But I'll have to think on that a little bit more. I mean, I would love to see a cool cameo here and there.
Give us Mace. Ignite the purple.
I don't know if I need that, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, we can kind of wrap up the review here soon. And then we
Yeah.
can get into talking about Andor, but kind of like these last scenes as he's getting safe passage. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this conversation with Riva and Obi-Wan,
Mm-hmm.
because Obi-Wan has Leia just run to the ship and tells her to just get away if he's not there soon, to just leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's waiting in the transport, and then Riva's trying to get to him. Oh, also Riva ends up taking out the Grand Inquisitor. She ends up stabbing him because they start to face off, and then she just stabs him, which is interesting too, which we have to talk about for a second also, because
We do.
we
Yeah.
know that the Grand Inquisitor is in Rebels, which is takes place after this. So that's
Seeing
going to be
everybody trying to
interesting.
jump.
It's
Sorry.
going to be interesting how they handle it, because some people might be wondering, well, how does that work? Is Rebels not going to be canon anymore? But for me, of course it's going to be canon still, because this is still Dave Filoni, and he's doing both this show and well, he's somewhat a part of this show still, and of course Rebels is his show. But yeah, so I'm not too worried as far as like canon goes. I think that we are just going to see the Grand Inquisitor come back later on. But yeah, it was an interesting scene. And then I think the best part about it was, that she reveals to Obi-Wan that Anakin is still alive. How she knows that it's Anakin, we're not too sure, but
Questions.
we're starting to assume that she has some kind of like deeper working relationship with him than maybe he does with the other Inquisitors, like you had mentioned earlier. That can make a lot of sense. But the big takeaway was that expression and that look on his face when he, understood that Anakin was still alive, when she revealed that to him. Again, he's just, Ewan McGregor is just such a great actor, and I thought it was a really great scene, even when he ends up getting onto the transport too, and Leia notices that something's wrong.
Hmm.
Uh, but anything more you wanted to say before we close up the review?
No, I just think that McGregor is just he's carrying the show. That's all I can say. I'm only here for Obi-Wan. I'll tell you what, this guy's acting. I mean, he literally didn't say anything, and that shot that you're talking about before he gets on transport, they do it kind of twice. But when she
Yeah.
is saying like, "Oh, Anakin is alive," she says Darth Vader's like still alive. Anakin Skywalker is still alive, and it shows his face, and he doesn't know. Like I got a couple different feelings from him. He's probably terrified almost at this point. Like I don't know. That's weird to see Obi-Wan kind of scared, but
Hmm.
um, he knows now. And then there was a little bit of kind of hope in his eyes. Maybe he can go
Yeah.
save him, and then a lot of guilt
Hmm.
in his eyes. And so like it, but him portraying all these different emotions just in that one scene, I think it was maybe like 20 seconds of that scene, and like I was like, oh shoot, like he didn't know. And everyone's complaining like, oh, how didn't he know? Like Darth Vader is a huge, like, guys, he was living literally in a cave under a rock. Okay.
Yeah.
Like he he doesn't talk to anybody. He goes to and from work, and that's it. And like that's his life.
Hmm.
So um, but yeah, dude, crazy scene. And then at the end, when he's sitting there and it's just PTSD all over again for him, and he's just staring off into space. And then he says Anakin, and this scene, right when he says Anakin, opens his eyes, and maybe that's like the first time that Darth Vader's even heard someone call him Anakin, and like that kind of reached out to him. I think there's definitely, like with the dream sequences, I think there's a connect that they have, that maybe again they're kind of doing it like Kylo and Rey, where they kind of don't know it or understand it really yet. So maybe this is
Uh-huh.
like the birthing of one of those things. I think, I don't know, but yeah, it was terrifying. It's terrifying. I can't wait to see him in a suit.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm so glad that Hayden Christensen is back too, and this scene was really incredible when he does like see him, or at least we see him, and it
Mhm.
would seem as though they made a connection in the Force, um, and like he really knows, like in his heart and mind, that he's still alive. Like he can feel him alive in the Force. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool,
Oh
and
gosh.
definitely, you know, a little bit intense, a little bit scary.
Yeah, just I just can't wait, dude. I know it's got to happen. I hope it happens, but they have to do a training montage for Obi-Wan again. I mean, they got to give this man his own training montage, getting back into his Force shape, doing everything, picking up
I would
all
love that.
his camel. I don't even know. Yeah, dude, they gotta see him strapping up his old garb, dude, like getting all Jedi'd out. Show me that, bro.
Right?
Cut away. Give me at least three minutes of him robing up, and at least 5 minutes of him training real hard. Yeah. Anyways, I just can't wait, dude. It's gonna be. I really hope they hype up this fight so much. It's gonna be insane. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna
Dude,
lose it.
what if what if Yoda shows up somewhere? Or maybe Obi-Wan goes to Dagobah for a little bit and he trains with
Man,
Yoda.
that would
That
be
would be
sick.
awesome. Dude, if him and Yoda like lightsaber train together for a minute, I'd be
Okay.
down.
Now we're getting a little wild here. Okay, we're expecting too much of Star Wars at this
I
point,
know.
but I want
I
I,
know.
I want to see that. That would be
I
perfect,
want to
dude.
see
And
Qui-Gon
Yoda,
again though. I want to see Yoda.
well, dude, it isn't Yoda's on Dagobah because it's like a force sensitive planet, right? Where he can like it's full of force life, and
Yeah,
that's
and
where
it
he
kind of it's
discovered.
supposed to like cover it's supposed to like contain him, I think too, and
Okay.
basically protect him in a way so that he's not discovered, I think is the idea.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, I mean, if it's such a force powerful planet, if another force person goes there, it's like, okay, you can't really tell the difference maybe of the planet. It's just going to look the same to everybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure in Clone Wars, Yoda goes there. specifically for that reason, and that's where Qui-Gon shows up to Yoda and tells him to train there, right? And that's why Yoda's there. I feel like that's what happened. And it would be awesome if they got Obi-Wan to go back to Yoda there, and Yoda shows him Qui-Gon as a Force ghost because it's such a powerful planet, and that's where we get like Qui-Gon helping him train, dude. Qui-Gon's like there, and Yoda's there, and they just like kind of give him some words of advice. And oh, okay, I can't. We gotta stop talking about it because I'm just getting too excited about something that's probably not gonna happen. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, well, I mean that's pretty much our episode 1 and 2 review. I do want to talk about Andor for a couple minutes before we close things out, but yeah, did you have any other final thoughts on 1 and 2?
No. I hope I just see a lot more of Obi-Wan. And
what would you rate the 2 episodes?
Too much. Solid. I have to wait until it's over. I kind of don't want to rate any of the episodes until the show's finished. I kind of want to rate the show, if that makes sense. Because good. That's what I'll say. That's my rating. It's good so far. I liked it. How about you? What would you rate it?
I feel like I would give them both a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah.
I was hovering like 7, 8 in that area. Yeah. Better than Mandalorian? Is this your favorite Star Wars show so far?
Not yet. I think that it could be. Because he's also my favorite character. And like a part of me is like I need more for it to be my favorite. But like the other part of me that's such a huge Obi-Wan fan is saying I don't need much more for it to be my favorite. Like I just need him to like have an epic lightsaber battle. You know what I mean? That's all I really need. That might be it. Yeah. That might be
same
it.
Here. I mean, dude, the tone. Yeah, just the tone, just like how they shot everything. It just it's a beautiful. It's just amazing. That's it.
It's looking pretty good.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to say anything yet because I want to be like this show's 100 out of 10 at the end of this. You know, I want to.
Do you think it has potential to being your favorite?
Yeah, if they can pull this off in the right, if they pull this off in the right ways, this will probably be my favorite Star Wars thing to watch. Period.
I don't even know your favorite character
in Star Wars, like just all Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't really have one. Oh,
okay.
Obi-Wan's pretty good. I'm a huge prequel guy. I love Anakin like to death.
Yeah.
Episode 3 Anakin is my guy. Clone Wars Anakin, not the movie, but the show. Like after that, my guy. So Anakin really was my favorite, and I like Anakin more than I like Darth Vader, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Definitely.
But yeah.
All right, I'm looking forward to next week's episode and review. But yeah, let's talk just a few moments about the Andor trailer. What do you think? Should we play it too? Should we play it too, or just talk about it?
If you want to. I mean, you could play it. I'm still gonna be confused. You should probably play it again because I don't really. Dude, I was like, I was so lost. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm just curious about. Yeah, I'm just curious about the show though, because I don't. Yeah, I'm not into the lore like you, and I don't know really what's happening. So I can't wait. I'm gonna shut up, and I just want you to talk about it because I need some information.
Well, I want to know your thoughts.
I'll give you my thoughts, but I'm gonna sound like a child because I don't know anything about it. You know.
All right, so we'll play the Andor trailer real quick. And we didn't even talk about Star Wars Celebration either.
We did not.
All right, here we go. everyone can see that pretty good. Make sure it's not super loud. All right, here we go. Here's the Andor trailer. The noises he's making, it was kind of funny.
I didn't hear that the first time I watched this, and I just
Really?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is really Dooney to me when I hear this now.
It's got a different feel, that's for sure.
That was a loud bell. Oh no.
They're so proud of themselves. So fat and satisfied. They're everywhere. They're watching me now. Soon enough, these days will end. There will be no rules going forward. People are standing up. That's what a reckoning sounds like.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think in the comments section. Jake, what are your thoughts?
I liked it. I know what it's about. I know what it's about now.
Do you?
Clearly, it's the Empire, right? They're coming in and they're taking over this planet, and they don't care. They're trying to enslave everybody. This is what they do in the inner world. So really mess with the outer rim planets because they're trash and full sand. So clearly, it's something that has to do. Yeah, has to do with I'm taking resources. I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure I heard that scene of those platforms in that water is actually the start of them building the Death Star. Because I guess they build the Death Star like underground in the ocean, I guess, in like water. Or at least the ray or whatever. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. Yeah, I'm excited. I honestly am. I love that actor. First of all, he has the same kind of accent voice as Zemo, okay, from Marvel, and I just can't get enough of that. I don't know where these guys are from, but I gotta find out because they have like the same voice.
Yeah, I think
I love
Cassian's
that
an
actor.
awesome character.
Yeah, I loved him, dude. Rogue One, like, oh man. But again, we already know what happens. Like, we all know this guy's making it out of this, and I heard the show's actually
But
going to
he's
jump
seen a
straight
lot.
from. Yeah,
He's
it's going to
seen a
give us
lot,
like
though.
a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to jump straight into where Rogue One basically starts with him, and I can't wait. I love that actor. I think it looks like a gritty, like kind of more. I'm
I think it's
always
gonna be
down
like
for
a
like the
spy
down to earth.
thriller.
Yeah, kind of like down to earth. It's not like as galactic. It doesn't have to do with the Force, I'm assuming. Right. So I just can't wait for that. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of those kind of shows. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what to say. Besides that, I'm just excited. How about you, man?
Yeah, me
What's
too.
going on?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more so like a spy thriller, which I think Rogue One kind of was too. And a lot of people have said that it's gonna show us more of like the dirtier side of the rebellion, how they have to get their hands dirty and um, they can't always, do the right thing or reach their goals, um, without being a little bit bad, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more of that, and yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it's going to honestly surprise a lot of the fans because I think it's kind of like lower on the list of Star Wars shows in terms of like expectations and excitement, but I think it's actually going to end up being really good.
Yeah. I mean, all you have to do is watch Rogue One and understand like this actor, and you're gonna be like, I cannot wait to see what he is talking about. Because in Rogue One, he's like, we messed up a lot of people. Like I've had to. He shoots another spy in the first time you meet him. Just shoots him because he can't climb out of the way. He can't get out of there, right? So it's just like, I can't wait. It's gonna be dirty, like you said, bro. People are gonna get killed. Yeah, it's gonna be gnarly. I just hope it's not too like political, like what some of the prequels did. Like I hope that's
Right.
spy thriller, less about meeting in boardrooms and whatever. So that's it.
For sure.
But yeah,
So
that
yeah,
that's total.
it is.
I go straight to Dune, dude. Like every
It
time
is
now. So,
definitely.
anyways, but yeah, man.
And the last thing I wanted to touch on is that if you guys didn't get a chance to watch any of the Star Wars Celebration that was broadcasted on YouTube, go and check that out because it was really awesome. The different panels, um, especially the one for Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, like them talking about Kenobi. And this was on Thursday, it was Wednesday or Thursday. And then right after this panel, they were premiering, the first two episodes of Obi-Wan to the people that were there. But the the intense, I guess, love and excitement for both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, it was incredible. Like,
Was it?
yeah, yeah, you have to
They
go
were
check this out, dude. Like, they wouldn't let
okay.
them talk. They wouldn't let them talk. It was just like intense, and then they would start to talk, and like everyone's just freaking out. And I felt like it it was almost equal, but it was honestly a little bit more for Hayden, um, which I thought was really nice because he's had to put up with some crap too and a little bit of backlash from
Oh,
certain things in the prequels. Um, but to see how loyal the fans are to him is really nice. I thought it was
yeah.
really cool and exciting, and everyone's just like so hyped for him to be back. And then the best part about it is at the very end, the guy asks him, "You have any last things you want to say about this show, Hayden?" And he's like, "This is where the fun begins," and everyone goes nuts, dude.
I've seen that
It-
clip. I've seen
they
that
they
clip. Yeah.
lose it. They lose their minds, and it was so awesome, and it looked like a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, go check that out because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they have a panel where they get to talk a little bit, um, as well as Katie Sackhoff, who plays Bo-Katan. She's incredible. I always like her interviews. And so she talks a little bit about coming back for Mandalorian season 3. And there's some more good stuff in there too. So yeah,
Did
check that
they
out if you haven't.
have you heard anything about Ahsoka yet? I guess would be my
Um,
only question.
they mention it just a little bit, and honestly, I still need to see a little bit more of it, of the
Okay.
stream. So I'm gonna be doing that soon. But I don't think they touch on Ahsoka too much. I don't think they talk about it a whole lot. Oh, and then the other noteworthy thing was that I need to do more research into this, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. I know we'll talk about it more here on the show. Um, but Dave Filoni has a movie coming out, and it's called The Skeleton Crew,
Yeah.
and one of the stars is Jude Law. You saw that?
I did. I was like, when you were saying Jon Favreau and Filoni, I was gonna ask you, isn't he coming out with another movie? Aren't they both doing another movie together or show or something?
I can't remember if Favreau is part of it, but he might be. It would make sense. Um, I have no idea what this is about. I don't know if we have a whole lot of information on it yet. It
Yeah.
could have been something that I missed, but I don't think that we have too much information on it. So I'm definitely going to try and do some more research on that, and we'll be talking about that more soon.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if like can remember hearing anything. I feel like I did, but I don't think there's really too much out there about it right now. But
Yeah,
I'm excited. Listen, we talked about it a week ago on our other podcast, and I think Star Wars is pulling out in front right now for me ahead of Marvel. tenfold.
Yeah.
Tenfold right now, dude. Tenfold. So let's go. Keep it up. And the show, it's not on Friday, guys. It's going to be dropping. The next episode is going to be dropping on Tuesday night, Wednesday day. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I guess next Wednesday we'll probably be doing our show, unless anything changes. Also, guys, if you could do us a huge favor too, me and Jake have been talking a little bit about this, but if there are better days that you would prefer us to do our episode, if you'd prefer us to wait to like do our show, our review on a Friday or a Saturday like this, definitely let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear that, or you can hit me up in the direct messages. And I'm just gonna show this last picture real quick. I can't wait to see this, man. I'm
Oh, shut up.
I'm looking forward to this, bro.
Oh, my Lord.
I can't wait for this face off for them to battle it out again.
Is that like a legit picture?
Yeah, this is
No.
this is on Disney Plus. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, this is like when you go to open up the show.
Get out of town. Yeah, dude,
I just can't wait.
I'm
And it's got
ecstatic.
that this captures that like Western but also samurai feel.
Dude. Yep. That's exactly how I feel looking at this picture right now. That is
All
so
right, guys.
sick. That's sick. Yeah. All right. Got me excited. Stop doing
Thanks a
that,
lot, bro.
Tom.
Thanks a lot, bro, for being on the show
Of course, man. Thanks
and
for
for the
having me.
review. And thanks everyone for tuning in. And again, hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment if you're watching on the replay, and we'll get back to you. We definitely want to hear your thoughts and theories. And we will catch you soon. We'll catch you next week for episode 3.
Adios.
See you later.